Live from Manchester Morgue mostly contains spoilers. Mostly.
This is not a dream. We are using your preferred podcast provider as a receiver.
Hello and welcome to Live from Manchester Morgue, where we pick two horror films that we think you should watch back to back, together in a double bill. I'm Gary. With me, as always, is Ken. Hello, Ken.
Hello, hello.
If you're new to the show, thanks for stopping by. If you're not, if you're a returning listener, well, welcome back, I suppose. Don't know what.
You
Don't know why.
sounded disappointed.
I
Welcome
just
back.
think why. I don't know why you bothered.
You know.
Joking. We love you. So what are we watching tonight? What have we watched already? Late Mungo and Don't Look Now.
I'm gonna start saying my note titles because I find them quite amusing,
All
even though
right.
I wrote them.
It's just like
So
a pastiche of the two again. Like,
yeah, like a portmanteau or something. So this one's Don't Lake Now.
Don't Like Now. That's great.
See, you laughed.
That works. Well, it's about time you did a joke because you never laugh at any of mine. I'm not even doing one this week.
Oh
Giving up.
wow. Okay. Oh, all right.
Um,
Okay.
you know what? We've got loads and loads of comments this week.
Oh,
So I
great.
think I should batter into those because we've got absolutely loads of them,
Well,
which
these
is
are
great.
these are pretty classic. I think Lake Mungo um, qualifies as at least a modern cult classic, and Don't Look Now is a
it,
bona fide masterpiece.
it is. Lake Mungo is very, very highly regarded within the horror community, and rightly so. It's a really good film. And
Yeah.
It's Lake Mungo. Don't Lake
Late
Now.
now.
Don't Lake Now. Don't Look Now is obviously a classic. So I think we've picked some good films here, and there are many parallels. More of which I did that thing that we talk about every time. We pick some films, and
Where we
then
don't know our own how good we are at our own
yeah, and
theme.
then I realized how many more parallels there are today when I was rewatching Don't Look Now. So I was like, oh, actually, yeah, these are a great fit. So well done to us. Um,
Yeah, so I
so
think the main parallel is for me, and this is without you prompting. It's when grief is the haunting in both these films. Grief and
yeah,
coping with death is the haunting. That's what they're being haunted by.
well, they are, and then more specifically, I mean, they both have a supernatural bent, obviously, but then
They do,
obviously
yeah.
they're both rife with premonitions. They both hinge on pivotally on premonitions of your own death.
It's almost about you could take it as manifesting your own fate, really.
Yeah, yeah, good
Yeah.
shout. There are charlatans in each one. Charlatans trying to exploit that grief in both films. Or it's questionable whether they are charlatans
Are
at
they? There's
first.
not.
No,
You
I
mean the
think
sisters?
yeah, they're not. But I mean, it's questionable at the beginning whether they are just trying to rip them off or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they turn out not to be, but there's that element to it. um. Anyway, so J.K. Souza. This was in response to the last episode where we talked a bit about what's his name directed fucking Lord of the Rings.
Peter Jackson.
Peter
What?
Jackson. I'm getting old. I can't remember names when I try to think of them out of the air. So
He's one of
Peter
the
Jackson.
greatest director who ever lived.
Yeah, I can't think that fast anymore. I'm too tired.
Okay.
So we talked a bit about Peter Jackson, and I put that clip out that we used for the episode, which is about him having questionable scenes about necrophilia in a couple of his films. And someone on Blue Sky, J.K. Souza. I know I've got my Blue Sky curated perfectly when this is one of the first posts I come across first thing in the morning. Questions about necrophilia with a mummy, chef's kiss. So glad we scratched some sort of itch for you there. Um, Dave the Pat has been back. Dave the Expat has been back in touch to say this was again in response to the last one. Great episode. Never seen the Frighteners. So this has given me a kick up the arse to sort my life out. Just got back from a 4 year on the bounce trip to Berlin. Some horror locations I visited included the Metropole venue from Demons,
Dimon.
with his golden ticket prop that he got off Etsy. He's got one of them. And
Cool.
also the cafe in Moscow, which is from Suspiria 2018.
That's pretty dope.
And then he goes on to say, keep up the great work. Cheered me up listening to you both, natter, as always. Feel low and on my arse when I get, sorry, as always, feel low and on my arse when I get back from Berlin.
Yeah.
So, well, glad to cheer you up. You know what, though, Dave? 4 years is not a trip. You've moved there at that point.
Yeah, you are living in Berlin.
That's not a fucking holiday, Dave. But,
Also, I'm pretty sure,
to
like he said at the beginning, he's like sort his life out. Pretty sure when he left Manchester, he sorted his life out. But
that was the sorting of his life out.
Here we are.
Absolutely. It goes on to say also he never went to the Showcase Cinema, which you asked about in the last episode.
I did, yeah. That's a shame. We need more Showcase memories.
No one hit us up about that. I don't think anyone who listened to it has ever been to the old Showcase, unfortunately. And you can't go now because it's gone. You've missed your chance. It's your fault.
I don't know what it is now.
Anyway, Dab K on the Moon. No. Oh, fuck knows. It's in Gorton. Who cares? Dab K on the Moon returned to say, just wanted to say, the newest episode, the double bill with the Frighteners and Beetlejuice was so damn good. I honestly did not know about the Oingo Boingo connection. So that was cool to learn. But when Ken said he was not a fan of the Batman theme and you gasped, I laughed so hard I almost spit out my coffee. Well, I did gasp because I was taken aback quite a lot.
It's not that great, man.
It is that great. It's Batman tune. It's the Batman theme tune. There isn't another one. I agree to disagree. And he goes on to say,
is it does Danny Elfman do Danny Elfman does the animated series one. It's the same
which
theme,
is a
right?
riff on the film one. Yeah, it's not quite identical, but it's got the same beats. Yeah.
I like the 1960s one.
Well, good for you. He goes on to say, I will say this, you lads have been routinely informative and funny and have recommended your show. I have recommended my show. I can't speak today, Ken. And funny and have recommended your show to many of my friends who like horror. So thank you for recommending us. We're still growing slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Sorry,
the more we grow, the more higher profile we get. We get more interviews with people, which we have coming up as well. Next week.
We can multiply the $0 that we get per episode into more $0.
Yeah.
And continue to not get paid for our efforts.
Continue to keep our shitty day jobs.
Yeah, exactly. That's not why we do it. It's fine. So what have you watched? I'd start with this. I haven't watched anything this week except for our films, but I have been playing, and I did message you about it, Dying Light.
Oh yeah, you played it in an awesome way, didn't you?
I did. It was a peak gaming experience. So Dying Light, if you're not aware, is a zombie game. It's not generic. It's sort of a cross between. How would you describe it? It feels kind of like Fallout crossed with Assassin's Creed with zombies.
Yeah, so
you craft things and there's parkour and there's safe zones and.
If anyone's ever played Mirror's Edge,
I haven't played that
parkour game. It's got Mirror's Edge traversal, but it's a Romero-esque zombie apocalypse set in the Middle East. Is it Tehran or something? I can't remember.
Something like that. Yeah. But I mean, it does double for basically kind of Florida or whatever because of the palm trees and stuff, which is why that sort of sun-bleached look of it reminded me very much of Romero's own Day of the Dead. And when I started playing it, I put Spotify on my TV at the same time on the Xbox and played the Day of the Dead soundtrack whilst playing the game. And it was absolutely perfect. It was like so immersive. It was like I was back in the 80s in that actual film.
Just wandering through.
Awesome. Just wandering through, trying not to upset any zombies.
Shouting, hello.
Yeah, watching an alligator run about. And no, there wasn't one. But, that kind of thing. It was the deserted streets with palm trees. There's all dust blowing around. I mean, it's obviously massively influenced by Romero because I think I showed you this as well, Ken. I got to a certain point on the map under a bridge and there's a massive George A. Romero memorial graffiti in the game. They do homage him in the game itself.
Incredibly atmospheric games. I've not played the second one yet. I really want to.
No, well, I played it because there was a free play day on Xbox. And then after that finished, it was £2. £2 on Xbox. To download it. So yeah, I had to buy that, and I've been playing it. That was lots of fun.
They're a great studio as well. They went on to support Dying Light for years and years and years.
Did
They were
they?
still adding stuff to the game and balancing it up until the sequel came out about what, 8 years later, something.
No, it's nice when they do that. They just don't turn their back on it entirely because it happens so much with horror games. I mean, especially specifically with like film licensed games, like Evil Dead's gone,
Oh
Friday
yeah,
the
they
13th
yeah
is gone, Texas
yeah.
Chainsaw Massacre's gone, anything like that. Any of the isometric survivor games have all gone because they just didn't bother updating them. They get the license, pump a game out, and switch the servers off after a couple of years. It's shit.
It's a shame.
It is a shame because the Evil Dead one was quality. I did play Evil Dead. It was loads of fun. You could be that
Yeah,
Scottish guy of Army of Darkness, Henry the Red.
yeah. I played it afterwards but because the servers were dead, I played the solo mode, which was basically impossible.
It's fucking nails, isn't it?
Yeah,
I played it. I played it. It took me so many goes to do the first mission, which is awesome because you're just in the woods with the cabin from the original films. So
yeah.
it's really atmospheric. And then you have to fight Henrietta at the end, and she just floats after you. And it took me so many goes to do it. I did it, and then I started level two, and I just died instantly, and I haven't been back to it. I haven't played it since because it's so balls hard.
Not
Um,
groovy.
no. So what have you watched, Ken?
Uh, did I mention Witchboard last time? Can you remember?
Witchboard. I
Ah,
seem to
well, I'll
think
tell
you
you
did. So I
what.
know it's an old film.
No, it's not an old film. It's a remake of an 80s film. But
Right,
the
so
last time,
I've seen the really old one. I think you did mention it, but please do mention it. I don't remember.
so
You might have mentioned it in passing to me or something.
I think in the last episode I watched like a medieval fantasy horror that was based on an 80s film. I can't remember what the name is now. Deathstalker.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that was right. We definitely talked about Deathstalker and because the remake of that you said was really good.
so this time around I watched Witchboard. It was one of them where I'm searching for the latest YouTube rentals. And I'm bored, and I'm like remake of an 80s what a cheesy 80s Ouija board style film directed by Chuck Russell. It's probably the main reason I watched it. Chuck Russell of um, Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors, the second best Nightmare on Elm Street film, and The Mask. So he's a great, he's a fun filmmaker. His
Well,
films have
hold on.
fun.
The same guy that directed Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors directed The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
Holy shit, I had no idea.
yeah. So
Well, I
obviously
mean, it
I'm
tracks
watching.
actually when I'm thinking about the
Yeah,
two films. It makes a lot of sense. Just mad over the top physical violence.
yeah. So I'll generally watch. He's not got a perfect track record by any means, but I'll generally watch anything that Chuck Russell does. And if it's a horror, I watched it. It was a lot of fun. It's very generic. Someone finds it's not a Ouija board; it's a witch board. It's like a adjacent cursed item. Someone finds a witch board in the woods. A friend start dying horribly. She gets possessed by an ancient witch. It's all very hyper violent and cartoony. Really
Sounds
good.
fun. Yeah.
Features a good villain turn from Jamie Campbell Bower, who was a terrible villain in the latter Stranger Things seasons. He's the guy that played Vecna. Um,
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's pretty shit in Stranger Things, if I do say so myself. And
Mm.
but he's very good in Witchboard. He's actually a compelling villain in Witchboard. Then moving on to Exit 8, which is a time loop horror based on a you can't really call it a video game. It's just there's two video games, one called Exit 8, one called Station 8. I'd never heard of them until my partner randomly just bought them and played them. You can complete them in 30 minutes. It's essentially you go around a subway station and you go around in a loop, and if you spot it's essentially spot the difference. If you spot an anomaly, you have to turn back. If you don't turn back, you have to start again. And the aim is to go round and round. And there's lots of spooky bits and weird bits, and they made a film of it in Japan,
All right. Yeah.
and
I
it's
think I
really
have heard of
fucking
this.
good.
I don't know if I played a trailer or I watched a video of it or something.
It's
Uh,
really fucking good. Time loops are always cool when you pull them off right. Anyway, there's a really nice wraparound plot based around the main character's kind of reluctance to have a baby. It really really good, really enjoyable film. And then we have the big one. Spoke about obsession in the last episode. We have Backrooms this time.
This is Backrooms is out and available now.
Yeah, from the 20-year-old director Kane Parsons, who made, I would say, the quintessential, maybe the poster boy for creepypasta on YouTube. Backrooms. He made a series of videos in the free software Blender, open source software Blender, when he was a teenager. A24 gave him a big fat check. Well, not a massive check. Gave him a movie deal, and he's made a really great movie. It's really fucking good. It's he said a bunch of things in interviews. He said he was influenced by the Portal games and Half-Life and all that sort of stuff. And it feels like that. It feels like you can't really get through any sort of discourse about Backrooms without saying the word liminal. But that's kind of what it is. It's about liminal spaces. It's about the world between worlds and things that aren't quite right, things that are off kilter. A lot of people are saying it's Lynchian. I don't think so. I think that discounts what he's trying to do. I think the design of the film is very purposeful, whereas David Lynch uses spontaneous dream logic, um, where things don't have to make sense and they're open to interpretation. I think the design aesthetic of Backrooms is very purposeful and it's razor sharp with its precision. And the fact that it was directed by a 20-year-old person is frankly insane.
I
There's
found it
also
amazing that a 20-year-old has actually played Half-Life because it's mega old. It's like 30 years old, Half-Life.
he's always got taste, hasn't
Well, yeah,
he?
sure. Yeah, I'm happy for him. Just surprised.
Yeah. There's a bunch of discourse around the time of the film's release that chudtards were like, "Oh, he's a 20-year-old. Obviously, he didn't direct this film," and the actors have obviously come out in his defense, saying like, "I was on set when he was directing, and he's got his head switched on." He made some of the most effectively scary horror shorts on YouTube, maybe ever. When he was a teenager. I have no reason to doubt that he is like a competent horror movie director. Who are these people and where do they crawl? What rock do they crawl out from when it's time to type on the keyboards?
Oh, it's everything though, isn't it? Anytime anyone does anything, someone has something negative to say about it.
Yeah,
That's just how it is. But that is impressive though. So he sounds like basically a natural for directing then.
100%. Yeah, I'm very excited. I mean, people would probably say that it's a waste of talent for him to just keep making Backrooms films, but I want to see what he does with feature-length versions of this world.
Yeah.
So more Backrooms films would be great, but he could probably turn his hand to a lot of other things.
Yeah, cool. Well, it's one to keep an eye on then.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
watched the film, as you say, I think liminal is a bit of a buzzword now. But like analog is becoming a bit of a buzzword. Things that crop up on TikTok, there's people doing analog horror because they can use AI now to make things look like it's from the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see it's not just a buzzword for him and he's actually executing it correctly and with some passion to it and some skill rather than just knocking it out.
I was quite surprised actually because it's been many years since I watched the Backrooms, and the Backroom shots are a lot of them are in the whole shaky cam style. And the opening of the film is a first person perspective of like a shaky cam of someone in the back rooms getting attacked. And I thought the whole film was going to be like that, but then he turns it into a traditional narrative, um, uh, which was really impressive and really well done.
Yeah, yeah, cool. I'll give that a watch then.
Yeah, that's it.
Um,
That's it for me this time.
all right, quick bit of news then, and it's shit news. It's been the worst 12 months for Buffy fans.
Oh wow, no, yeah,
Um, Rupert Giles himself, Anthony Stewart Head, sadly died at the relatively young age of 72. He had complications from pneumonia, apparently.
yeah,
So that's shit. He was such. I mean, I only really know him from Buffy and the coffee adverts because they were a thing in England when I was a kid.
they were.
Um, I didn't watch Merlin, so I can't comment on Merlin. But he was perfect as Giles. He was the father figure that Buffy needed, and he was great at it. And it was a real shame. And this is
Yeah,
this is after Brendan Fraser and Dawn, and the series getting cancelled. The
Brendan
new
Fraser,
the,
poor Brendan Fraser, you killing him off. Nicholas Brendan.
did I say Brendan Fraser?
Don't wish that upon Brendan
Oh my
Fraser.
God, no, I don't. No, sorry. So Nicholas Brendan. You see, I can't talk. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm getting all my facts wrong. I think we should just call it
Probably,
quits.
I was going to say probably shouldn't have a podcast then. To be fair,
No, I think it's
um,
probably no, probably time to turn it off.
yeah,
Um,
but Tony Head, as people some people affectionately call him, Anthony Stewart Head. Um, I'm I don't know if I've said it before on the show, but I'm a huge Buffy fan. Buffy is my by far unequivocal top TV show of all time. I watch it all along with Angel every single year. Um, and there's no making of material, there's no interview that I've ever read with the other cast, ever read or heard with the other cast where they've not said that Tony Head was the father figure on set. He taught them all how to act properly. He looked after them. He was nice to them. The Instagram posts from even small kind of bit characters. There was one that I don't know if you sent it, and it's one of the actors that played one of the Glory's minions in season 5, and he just put a post up about how he was depressed and he thought this like acting gig wasn't for him, and he's sad on the set, dressed up in his stupid minion makeup, and just Tony Head just comes and sits next to him and just gives him a talk and makes everything all right,
yeah, I
and
don't know
that's
if I sent you
special.
that, but I certainly saw that post. Yeah, he's like a little demon fellow, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that's special. That's a special human being right there.
Well, there was a lot of outpouring of love, quite rightly so, but a lot of stuff came out that I'd forgotten about. Like there was that. What cropped up was the way I forget which season it's in, but he has an acoustic guitar and he does a rendition of Freebird because he had a
Yeah,
fucking awesome singing voice.
he did. Yeah,
And he just nails it, and it was so poignant. You know, the first verse of it because he just died. It was like I welled up a little bit when I watched it.
yeah.
So rest in peace, Anthony. That's terrible. We hope that whatever is out there afterwards is everything you hoped it would be, I guess.
And we also hope that Brendan Fraser is alive and well.
Brendan Fraser will never die in spite of what I said earlier. Nicholas Brendan, well, you know what I meant. Anyway, I also said Dawn instead of Michelle Trachtenberg, so that was pretty bad as well. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to move on and let you talk for a little while shortly. Before that, I'll round off with the last comments because these are actually relating directly to the films that we've got coming up to talk about.
Okay.
Tom, excuse me. Tom Coombs says, "Don't Look Now" is so well done. Even knowing the big twist ahead of time didn't diminish the experience in the slightest. Lake Mungo is incredibly creepy and so good at seeming like a real documentary throughout. Our friend Brian McCall is back. He says, I have still not watched Don't Look Now. Shameful, I know. I thought Lake Mungo was really creepy. It got to me, especially that one scene. So
Yeah.
that's two comments there talking about the big reveals, which we mentioned right at the start of the show. Um, both kind of scary reveals with big faces in.
Big faces.
Well, yeah, they end up in big creepy faces.
Yeah.
Um, Steed and Peel 23. Don't Look Now was one of the first movies that, as the credits rolled, I needed to immediately watch again. So good. Ghost of a Werewolf, Lake Mungo is spectacular. Mile High Belial says, nice selections. Excited to hear your takes. Thanks, Belial. And Spider with a Y says, Lake Mungo is unironically one of the best movies of all time. And I think that's exactly right. And that's it for the comments for now. We're going to do the taglines thing again, Ken, but we'll do it
Oh
after.
no.
Yeah, sorry, you're gonna have to test your knowledge again. But we'll do that after we talk about Lake Mungo.
Are we doing Lake Mungo first? Okay.
We are. Is that do you approve this?
Sure. I swear to God, you change it up every time. It's like,
Will
is it
we
going to
do
go in
different films
chronological
every time?
order? No, I mean, I always expect you to go in chronological order, but sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. So you go
Yeah,
in
you know. Do you know
2008,
how I decide?
1973.
It depends entirely on which one I watch first because that's what I write the notes for first, and then I
Okay.
write the notes for the next one underneath it. So it's literally there is no thought to the coverage whatsoever. It's just whichever one I watch first gets the first notes on the page. So I just go into it after I've gone through all the intro stuff and the comments. So
Okay.
now
Okay.
now you know.
Now I know. Okay,
Now
and
you know.
I'll forget.
Yeah, it's all right.
Um, wait, doesn't yeah? Well, that insinuates that it could be completely random. So I'll never know
No, you'll never know because you don't know which one I watch first. No,
exactly.
you're at the whims of my mercy.
The mercy of my whims.
Yes.
Um, Yeah, so yeah, Lake Mungo 2008, directed by Joel Anderson. He's not done a lot
I don't think
more,
he's done anything else, has he? Or has
which
he?
is absolutely crazy considering
Considering this effort and how good it is.
and how much people must be clamoring for him to make another film. Let's have a look. Let's do some live Googling. He
Live
was the
Googling.
script editor on Late Night with the Devil.
Oh,
Yeah, he wrote a short after Lake Mungo. And no, he directed Lake Mungo and a short of The Rotting Woman prior to Lake Mungo. Very, very strange. Anyway,
well,
okay.
more importantly, Ken, how many cats are in Lake Mungo?
There is a cat, isn't there? Is there a cat?
No, there's no
No,
cats in
no
it.
cat.
That's the
Okay.
worst feature that anyone's ever come up with. There's never a fucking cat. I don't
Well,
know
isn't
why I
it
bother.
isn't it strange that we're a podcast that looks at horror movies, a genre synonymous with cat jump scares, and there's never any cats in our
I
films?
know. It's bizarre, isn't
Well, if we want to actually get a cat in the episode by any means,
it?
Exit 8 has a little black kitten when he does
Oh,
one of the
okay.
time loops.
All right,
So,
check out Exit 8, everybody.
yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna do something unconventional. No, I'm not, because I don't know what I'm
Oh,
doing. I just look. I went on Joel Anderson's Instagram, but it appears to be some sort of BMX stunt guy and not the film director of Lake Mungo.
well, I'm
Anyway,
glad you've messed up this episode because the chaos was all me so far. So this
okay,
it
right. We
makes me
get.
feel a bit better about things.
I'm going to stop researching why a guy that made one of the best horror faux documentaries ever made didn't make shit all else.
All right.
But
So,
yeah,
like
but yeah,
Mungo, it's an exploration of essentially grief, how it affects mothers.
familial grief. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and but which extends into the community as well.
yeah,
You know, it's not just it shows the effects on neighbors, some quite seedy neighbors. Um, you know, there are siblings involved, other families. It's very layered, and it strings
yeah,
you along. There's some really weird camera work in it. You know, like things like where the sky, you can see the stars in the sky, and the sky is kind of moving rapidly. That it's kind of got an oddness to it.
yeah,
Um, and much like the other film we're going to talk about, it kind of strings you along in one direction, and then there's a reveal, and then everything kind of gets turned on its head. You go, oh, but then again, right at the very, very end, things kind of get turned upside again. It's quite a, like I say, it's very layered. There's a lot of layers to it, which you have to peel back a bit and kind of it takes a couple of watches, I think, to fully understand what's going on.
it does. And I think this was my second or third watch of it, and I always forget the revelations that happened before, because all you think about is the scene at the end. That's all you think about when you think of Lake Mungo.
Yeah,
Um, but you forget the revelation. You forget like the sexual, not so much sexual assault, but like the sexual shenanigans. You get that just happens right in the middle of the film, and it's one they don't even dwell on it. They're just like, oh yeah, and weird sex stuff was happening with the neighbors, and
yeah.
then the brother. It starts off as a supernatural haunting, but then you find out towards the midway point the brother was faking the footage of the haunting.
And it leaves you guessing as well because you're not quite sure. Again, just another parallel with Don't Look Now. You're not sure which bits of it are parallel, it's paranormal, sorry, and which bits are actually happening in real life,
Yeah,
or which bits are sort of conjured up by as manifestations of someone's grief. Are they thinking straight? Are they imagining things? You know, are they seeing things? I think I made a note of this specifically because it's a very sad film.
it
It's Lake
is.
Mungo.
It is.
Um, one of the most heartfelt moments. The mother on camera says that for a while she was too scared to go to sleep because every time she went to sleep, she was dreaming about her daughter in her bedroom, and she just it was like being brought having her brought back to life every night essentially, and then waking up to realize that she wasn't there. You know, if you've gone through any kind of grief, that's a very real thing to happen.
Yeah,
And she ends up saying that she starts going for walks at night just so she doesn't want to have to sleep because she's too scared to see what she'll see in her dreams, and the grief will all come flooding back. It's such a well done story about grief.
It is, and there's several variations on the process as there is in Don't Look Now, because in Don't Look Now, which obviously we'll get into more depth, there's the marital strife that they're both having kind of twists the grief into something else. And in Lake Mungo, as they discover more about was it Alice? Alice, the girl that dies?
Yeah, Alice.
Yeah. As they discover more about Alice's life, that grief is, twisted into something else. Like, did we even know when she was alive? How can we mourn her when she's dead, sort of thing. That's insinuated.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so yeah, it's it's a really interesting essay on coping with the death of a loved one and all the things that can do to different aspects of a family. The different archetypes of mother, father, brother, um, the neighbors, you know, the close relatives. Yeah. Did you know? I had in my notes, Gaz, did you know? Like as if I write my notes as if I'm going to talk to you, which of course I am doing right now. Um, did you know that both of these stories have the same inciting incident of a drowning of a loved one, of a daughter?
Oh fucking hell! There's a parallel right there that I didn't
Like
even think
literally
about.
exactly. It opens with, obviously you don't see it in Lake Mungo, but it
No.
opens with a girl is drowned, and
Yeah,
then at the beginning of
that's the pivoting moment in both films, isn't it?
yeah.
The crux of it is dead kids from drowning. Yeah, holy
So dead
shit,
kids, dead kid meter times
dead
two.
kid meter. Yeah, what a great show this is turning out to be.
Yeah.
um,
Um, yeah, really, really effective use. You mentioned before about the filmmaking ticks, really, because you live and die on that when you're making a fake documentary, don't you? And I mean, there's parallels with shaky cam as well.
can I just point something out there? Sorry to interrupt. You just
Yeah.
said fake documentary. Is that because you chose not to say mockumentary?
Well, I said faux documentary before because I like saying faux because I'm a smart ass.
Well, see,
Um,
I only recently, just while reading stuff about this film, came to the realization. In my head, a mockumentary has always been a spoof,
I no,
such
I would
as The
agree.
Office, but
Or
it's actually
Spinal
so.
Tap.
Yeah, Spinal Tap. Yeah, great example. However, it actually applies because the mockumentary is actually supposed to mean fake rather than mockery. If you do a mock up of something, you
Yeah, like
recreate it. So it's not actually. It absolutely applies to Lake Mungo, because it's not a comedy related term.
no, like vegans eat mock duck.
Exactly, it's not funny fake duck, is it? It's just not real duck.
It depends on how you eat it. Um, so yeah,
Anyway, sorry.
mockumentary. You're quite right. You're quite right. So you live and die on the stylistic execution, much as you live and die on the stylistic execution of something like found footage. And to give a teeny sneak peek at a future interview, we talk about that with one of our guests. Um,
Very true.
but yeah, the way that shots linger on distorted shapes that you can barely see. There's a great frequently used shot in the film that initially is meant to come from the footage that the brother says that he faked, where it's like the reflection of Alice's face against a surface, and you can't really see anything. But the way that the camera hangs on there and there's that atmospheric, that almost ambient music.
That noise, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I know
it's
what you mean.
it's very disconcerting.
It makes
Uh,
the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, or it did for me several times.
oh yeah, I watched it on the road, as you know, in a dark hotel room, and it was still scary on my little laptop screen.
And that you just referenced there, like a whole other subplot. So, born of the grief of losing his sister, one of the beats is that the brother, they're investigating all this paranormal stuff, and it turns out that actually it's all bollocks because the brother's been faking all this nonsense. Basically, he's
Yeah,
faking pictures, he's faking footage of apparitions of his dead sister, for reasons that can only really be explained by his grief. There's no malice in it. He's just, I mean, you're never really sure. I can't remember if he actually explains it or not. What his motivation was. I think he says he doesn't really know why he did it. Um, but essentially, I mean, it's understandable. He's got grieving parents, and he kind of maybe wants his parents to believe that she's still there in some way, and that they haven't really lost her. And maybe he wants to feel that himself. It's a
Because
very human thing for him to do.
isn't it the father that has the first supposed encounter, and that triggers the son to then do the video fakes? Because the dad early on in the film says he has that encounter in his study where he sees his daughter.
That's right. And you're not sure at that point whether it could be his mind absolutely making up for the fact that he's lost a daughter. You don't know whether he's actually seen a ghost or not.
And these are the psychological ripple effects that, course through a family that can, I mean, not saying you should get over the loss of a loved one, but if you hold on to it, this is the kind of damage it can cause, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I read a really nice quote recently, or a few months ago, that said grief is just unspent love.
Wow,
Isn't
that's
that,
actually quite sad.
isn't it? And but it resonates. You've got all this love to give someone, and they're not there anymore. It is quite heartbreaking. It's why it's such a sad film. I mean, Don't Look Now is sad, but it's not sad like this. It's
I
not on the
think
same level of traumatically sad as like Mungo.
I think Don't Look Now. Should we pivot? Should we pivot to 1973?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, why not?
So I think Don't Look Now. I think obviously this is a theme of Lake Mungo as well, but I think what you said there about unspent love, and the one of the main points of Don't Look Now is they have lost a daughter, but they still do love each other. And if he would perhaps stop pursuing this idea, this abstract idea, he could realize that they still have a life with each other despite the tragedy they've gone through. But instead, he kind of literally runs down a dark tunnel of fate. Uh,
Yeah. Well, I think
yeah,
arguably they're both guilty of that because he's quite dismissive of the notion of getting in touch with her via the psychics. But that's because he doesn't really believe that such things exist. He takes the two sisters for charlatans, while his wife is very
it's
optimistic and
it's
desperate.
so it's so fucking clever. It reminds me of that. You remember the South Park episode where they're taking the piss out of Inception, and they're like, "Oh, it's so trippy and cool." I feel like that because Donald Sutherland, and we'll get to the beginning and explain a bit about Don't Look Now, but Donald Sutherland's character, he's coping with the grief, loss of a loved one, and his wife seeks solace in psychics and the supernatural. He shoots that down, but he is himself has psychic abilities, but even though he has psychic abilities, he still pursues a very real fate that ends up killing him. It's so fucking cool.
Well, this
It's
is
a
it. It's fake out after fake out, isn't it? Much like Mungo, you don't know where you are. I mean, the crux of Don't Look Now is that he has these powers. I don't think he necessarily understands it,
no.
but he's intent on following this sort of apparition of his dead daughter. Because I mean, he literally right at the very beginning, the daughter drowns in this pond, and he knocks over some red paint, like or ink or something,
He does,
which
yeah.
he takes to be an omen of death. And he sort of just has this realization that something's wrong, and he goes out, and unfortunately, his daughter's drowned. The crux of the reveal, the twist is that it's not only that when I mean, if obviously, as we always say, if you haven't watched these films, but now's a good time to press pause and maybe go and watch the films because we're going to spoil the shit out of this one as well. But I mean, Don't Look Now is mega old, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Um, the kind of pivotal twist is that he chases this what he thinks is an apparition of his daughter down this dark, weird bit of Venice, and it turns around, it's just this weird little dwarf.
It is a weird little dwarf.
Who's a weird little dwarf who's a serial killer who promptly murders him. It was nothing to do with his kid. But
Yeah.
when you go back and realize the omen of death that he saw right at the very beginning of the film was not his daughter's death, but his own.
Yeah, it's a thematic like manifestation of death, but it's a very real act of violence. It's a fucking all-timer.
It
So
is.
we'll rewind. 1973, Don't Look Now, Nicholas Roeg. So Roeg.
I
Let's
was
say
hoping
Rogue.
you would know how to say it because I always say Rogue, but Roeg makes more sense.
I've seen so many interviews and making ofs of his films, but I still can't remember his name.
Let's call him
But
Rogue.
Rogue, okay. So many filmmakers, I think, I mean, there are many filmmakers out there that have made multiple classics, but for my money, Nicholas Roeg has made at least five masterpieces. So that are almost, you know, you can't copy them. So Don't Look Now is one of them. You got Performance with Mick Jagger, um, which is a psychedelic kind of almost. I mentioned not saying Lynchian before, but it's very Lynchian. It's very kind of psychedelic dream logic. The Witches, which is Witches, absolute childhood classic for goth weirdos like us.
Traumatized a lot of kids.
Yeah, The Witches. Walkabout, an absolutely phenomenal visionary
Oh, we
film.
love Jenny Agutter in this house.
Yeah, and of course, The Man Who Fell to Earth, a wonderful singular science fiction film with David Bowie. So this is Nicholas Roeg, and he's adapting a novel by Daphne du Maurier. I don't know if I should pronounce it in the French,
Yeah,
but
you know what? I didn't realize it was based on one of her short stories until I rewatched it today.
yeah. So she is a master of thriller and gothic fiction. She's had a lot of her work famously adapted by Alfred Hitchcock, Rebecca, The Birds. She's got a prolific body of work. And so this is solid source material. A visionary director. His style is like elliptical storytelling, dream logic. You mentioned the red before. He uses a lot of color in his films, color to signify theme, color to signify mood. It, a lot of stylistic work, um, jump cutting, off kilter editing. It's it's like watching a dream, most of this film. There's a wonderful juxtaposition in the middle of the film of the couple, Julie Christie and Donald Sutherland, having sex uh, in their Venetian apartment, cut between them getting ready to go out after
Yeah,
post-coital.
it's an
And
amazing sex scene. It's very, it just looks real.
well, yeah, I think there was a mild controversy back in the day that they were actually doing it on screen.
Yeah, I think they've all
But
denied it. But you know what? I
yeah,
read about that today that apparently Warren Beatty was really pissed off about it because he was in a relationship with Julie Christie at the time.
well, Warren Beatty's a tit.
Well, he is, but I mean, he was particularly tittish about this. But yeah, they had him and Nick Rogue had a physical altercation about the scene.
Well, interesting. Reminds me
Yeah,
of another horror anecdote that's very similar to that, where Britt Eklund in The Wicker Man uses a butt double because Rod
yeah,
Stewart didn't want her naked on screen because
yeah,
she was
yeah.
going
I
out with Rod
believe
Stewart at the
so.
time.
It was definitely her back. It wasn't her back. Yeah, it was her front
Well, not her
because you see her
backside.
face, but yeah, not her backside.
So yeah, really. So yeah, daughter drowns at the beginning of the film, and then we cut forward. I don't know if it's years or months, but we cut forward essentially, and they're living in Venice. He's a architect. Uh, is he an architect? I can't remember what he does.
He's a restorer, like a historic
Yeah,
restorer. He's restoring
he's
some like some old not a tapestry, it's like a mosaic or something on a wall
yeah, and in a church
in
as
a
well. So
church.
there's a,
Sorry,
there's a
yeah,
lot of there's a lot of religious iconography in this. It's a very um, supernatural versus well, religion is supernatural, the giant invisible god. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of metaphysical stuff in here as well.
yeah.
But shot in Venice, Rogue insisted on shooting during the winter because he did not want to present Venice as, it's romantic, sunlit, tourist destination. He wanted this kind of waterlogged maze of decaying alleyways to kind of
Well,
represent what's
that,
going on in the minds of the.
yeah, that makes sense. That's good that you mentioned that because that's something I picked up on. Often with a film being made somewhere like Venice, like cinematography wise, it'll absolutely relish and get as much out of that as possible, the architecture and the beauty of the place. And there's absolutely none of that.
Yeah,
And Don't Look Now, it's labyrinthine and like a rabbit warren, and it's dark and it's
it looks
just
like shit.
it looks like shit. It looks like claustrophobic and weird. It's like, yeah. It doesn't make Venice. It's just menacing
It makes
rather than
Venice look
inviting.
like some sort of Eastern Bloc gulag. It like,
It
it's
does. It really
very,
does.
yeah.
Yeah. But as I say, it's a weird juxtaposition from what you'd normally see. 'Cause any other filmmaker filming in Venice would absolutely, there'd be big wide aerial shots and just things to just look at how beautiful this place is. And nope, not Nick Rogue.
Yeah. So we've got Venice looking like shit because he's trying to represent the internal state of the characters. We've got naturalistic dialogue. He a lot of the times he would let the actors just kind of riff and pick what they were saying instead of using what was in the script. We've got the phenomenal editing. So if you watch Don't Look Now and you've not seen a film like, or if you have seen a film like it's almost quite familiar because it's very kind of dreamlike, elliptical. Like shots don't necessarily match. They're more kind of sequences are more kind of an idea than a logical sequential set of events, and he kind of pioneered that in his time. That a lot of filmmakers use that now, either to be artsy fartsy or to try and create that kind of dreamy
Yeah.
off kill to put the viewer and the characters in the text kind of off balance. But that wasn't commonplace back then.
No, well, it
Um,
actually really adds to the narrative as well, what he does, because there's a lot of intercuts of the present day narrative with like flashbacks and flash forwards. So it's
yeah,
disorienting because you're never quite sure whether what you're seeing is happening in real time. But it's basically it was a technique to give us as viewers vicariously an experience of what this precognition or psychic abilities these people had, because you are seeing glimpses of his future with him, but he doesn't know that's what it is.
yeah,
Specifically, there's that bit where like he's before it's quite near the end where he sees his wife and the two psychics on like a funeral barge, and that's clearly his funeral, but he doesn't know that at that point
and
because he's not dead yet.
it's not shot like that. So if you had that now, if you had that in, I don't know, let's use an example. I don't know, a James Wan film. That's probably being mean to James Wan, but there'd be some sort of editing flourish or musical cue or really kind of hammer it with a rusty nail into the viewer's brain that that's what they're seeing. Oh, he's having a vision. But the way Rogue edits it, it's almost like it's happening at the same time. It's
Yeah,
very
exactly. Yeah,
strange.
yeah. It's such a really clever method of filming.
There's a
But yeah, it's
reality
like
to it.
essentially he's like, well, why is my wife on like, going to a funeral? What we were there? What's going on? But it's all, but yeah, it's very very cleverly done and disorienting, and that's the genius of it.
It sits somewhere in between. I was talking about Backrooms before, where that's very purposeful, and something like David Lynch, which is deliberately, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna put something in front of the camera, and you can do with it what you will. I think Don't Look Now sits somewhere in between that, in that it's about, it's more about mood and the psychological state of the characters than it is about the events that are happening on screen. So
You said
yeah.
before about the realism to the dialogue, which yeah, I agree with 100%. They do present themselves as very very human, as opposed to very what they come out with doesn't feel acted a lot of the time, which is obviously testament to the leads as well and their acting abilities. But what a bit of trivia for you that kind of ties in with that. for realism, apparently Nick Rogue and Julie Christie went to an actual seance.
Oh, cool.
And so they had to apparently sit in a circle in the pitch dark and join hands. And the guy that was running the seance insisted that everybody uncross their legs, which is what they actually did in the film. The psychic sister, the blind one, says, "Are your legs uncrossed?" and makes her uncross her legs. But that was because he incorporated that into the film from the experience they had when they went to do some research that actually happened.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, cool trivia.
So yeah, the Psychic Sisters, they're a highlight. They're a highlight of the film. They're almost comic relief.
They are, but also quite. You kind of don't know how to take them, I think, and I think that's
Yeah,
deliberately ambiguous. They're a bit sinister at times. They're a
very
bit.
much
They
so.
come across a bit like the couple in Rosemary's Baby. I found a bit, a bit,
Oh, that's a great shout. Yeah.
yeah, a bit weird. Not quite sure whether they've got an agenda or not. As it turned out, no, they were just genuinely psychic and genuinely wanted to help.
Well,
But
yeah. One of the things that I've got in my notes is it's a film about misinterpreting signs.
well, yeah,
Sutherland's character obviously sees the girl in the red Mac everywhere, and the wife kind of seeks something with the psychics that isn't really there.
yeah. And right off the
Oh,
bat at the beginning, what I mentioned before, the omen of death with the ink and the paint at the beginning, that
and
was misinterpreted.
yeah, on the pictures as well. It's like yeah,
Yeah,
we're pulling apart the mystery as the characters are, and it's one of those films where you want to whack yourself on the head with a hammer so you can forget the ending because the ending's fucking mint.
yeah. It's incredible. And if we might just pivot back just for a short while back to Lake Mungo. So the thing with Lake Mungo is that there is, as with Don't Look Now, at the end of Don't Look Now, he chases the figure. It turns out to be a weird little dwarf, which murders him. It's unexpected. The the scene akin to that in Lake Mungo is when you find Alice's phone footage and what she saw, and what she saw was a premonition of her own dead body
Yeah,
after she drowned, and it's really highly regarded and renowned as a genuinely one of the most terrifying scenes. It's one of those scenes that crops up on lists of scariest scenes of all time, and it's absolutely bone chilling when you
yeah,
see it. But so it goes from that, and it kind of becomes apparent in that moment. Then, right, actually, in spite of all the fakery and all the questions and the kind of is he a psychic or is he not guy who's been sort of leading the mum through it and helping with the grief in a way, pretending if he is pretending that he can, channel Alice or whatever.
yeah.
Actually, yeah, seems like this was definitely had something supernatural going on. And then there's another bit where like the mum is she visits that psychic character and it cuts between her talking about herself in this trance-like state where she goes into Alice's room, and it intercuts that with audio of Alice, who's also been to see this psychic guy that you didn't know about before she
Yeah.
died, and it intercuts with talk of Alice basically describing the same scene. So her mum's going into her room, and um, she says, "Oh, Alice isn't there," and that's like kind of her closure over the whole thing. But this is intercut with Alice way before this, the same psychic saying, "I keep getting this vision of my mum. She's going into my room, but she can't see me. She doesn't know I'm there." It's like, whoa. So, so who's actually right here? And it's like it's obviously that when you get right to the very end, you see even on the faked photos that it zooms in on different. This is like at the end credits. It zooms in on other angles of the photos and shows you that actually, yeah, Alice is there. It's not the
Yeah,
fake Alice that brother created. There's another apparition of her there, and it ties in with what her and her mum said. Alice is just kind of still there, and that's what makes it even more sad because she's kind of basically, essentially, it's confirmed at that point that Alice is in some sort of afterlife in the house, seemingly kind of stuck there, just watching her friends
and
and
it's
family grieve for her, and she can't do anything about it because she
yeah,
can't make contact with them.
and it's a temporarily fucked afterlife as well.
Yeah,
Because because obviously she's witnessed her own death. She sees it quite, she sees a physical manifestation of her own death, and you've got that scene that you mentioned where they both kind of doing this interview, and it's obvious that time time has bended back on itself for those that
Yeah.
pass, and they have to go back and watch. It reminds me of that Steven Soderbergh film from last year or the year before, Presence. That was like
Oh, I heard about that, but I haven't seen it.
so it's a POV film. So spoilers for Presence for those who haven't watched it. It's a POV film from the perspective of the ghost, and you find out at the end that the ghost is the ghost of the brother that's been in the film all along, and he dies trying to save his sister, and he just kind of loops back in time
Right.
and tries as a ghost to stop the events of how he died, sort of thing. So
Okay.
I love that idea that once you die, time has no meaning. It's you become Doctor Manhattan essentially in Watchmen. It's like I'm tired of these people and
I
their
was gonna say,
lives.
yeah, you would get absolutely fucking sick of watching the same old shit all the time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it's a very depressing, very bleak outlook on the afterlife.
Cool. Sounds right up my alley because I like sad and ghostly things. Um, so yeah, I don't have a great deal further to add other than these films are both bangers, and if you haven't watched them, please do. Um, you know what we didn't do, Ken? We didn't play taglines.
Right, okay, let's
Should we
finish
end on
out with the
taglines?
end on taglines, yeah, because I'm
Right.
feeling confident.
So play along, listeners, if you will. So I'm going to read out taglines from 3 horror films. I'm going to give 10 seconds, then Ken's going to answer what he thinks they relate to. All right. So number 1. Are you ready, Ken?
I am.
Number 1. A Terrifying Tale of Sluts and Bolts.
Okay, okay,
Right. Number 2. We Are Going to Eat You. And number
okay.
3. Terror Has No Shape.
Yeah,
Ready?
okay.
Right. Okay. 10 seconds. Different jingle this
Do,
week.
do, do, do. What is that?
I'm
What is
making
that
up.
one?
I don't know. I'm making it up as I
Oh,
go
okay, okay.
along. Right. That's definitely 10 seconds. So, A Terrifying Tale of Sluts and Bolts, Ken.
The Frankenhooker.
Absolutely. Well done. We Are Going to Eat You.
So this one's quite hard.
It could be a lot of things.
Is it Ghoulies?
No. I'll give you a clue. It's a zombie film.
Really? I don't know.
That one, Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Oh shit. Oh, come
AKA
on.
Zombie, Zombie 2, Zombie 2, whatever the Christ zombie one it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And finally, Terror Has No Shape.
It's the Blob, right?
It is the Blob. Well done.
The
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 remake
the
specifically
the
that we
remake,
covered
yeah,
on the
the
show.
80s
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Well done. I don't know if I'd have got that. I mean, I
Yeah.
know the answer. Yeah, well done, Ken. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, as
Yeah.
the late great Meatloaf said. So coming up next on the show, what we're doing, anthology horror. We're going to pick a couple of anthology horrors that we really like, and we managed to snag an awesome interview, which we can reveal because it's definitely happened because we've recorded it already, with none other than Hannah Fierman, who played most famously probably played Lily in the first segment of the first VHS film, Lily the Siren Succubus.
Yep.
We spoke to her this week, so that's in the bank. We're going to intercut that into the next show. What anthology have you got? Do you want to reveal it? Have you decided?
Yes, I have. So what were you gonna do?
I was thinking Creepshow 2 because it's my favorite of all time, but then there's so many good ones. I mean,
Well, you have to
we
pick
will.
one.
I know, but I mean, I suppose we will inevitably talk about others, won't we? But I reckon I'll go with Creepshow 2 because it's the one I've seen the
I
most.
I'm going to do Cat's Eye.
Oh yes, I fucking love
Yes.
Cat's Eye.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because
Right. Well,
I
oh,
remember,
go on.
yeah, because Cat's Eye is one of them one of them films that you watch when you're a kid late at night and you've no idea what you're watching, and you're like, hang on a minute, 20 minutes ago it was a guy walking on the edge of a building, and
Yeah,
now it's a troll fighting a cat.
yeah, it's fucking brilliant. And I mean, it's all Stephen King stories as well, isn't it? I think
Yeah, also
it's
guaranteed cat as well.
guaranteed cat. absolutely sterling work there. Well done, Ken.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a cat in Creepshow too. I don't remember one. I'll have to watch it and find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so join us next time at the Morgue for some anthology horror fun. Exclusive interview with Hannah Fierman herself, Lily herself. And if that weren't enough, I'm not going to reveal this one, but we've actually just approached someone and managed to book an interview to be recorded with someone else that's very exciting for us.
Oh, yeah, I'm very
Directed
excited.
a couple of the most effective, but certainly two of my favorite contemporary horror films of the last 10 years. Absolutely excellent filmmaker. We're going to talk to them, but I'm not going to reveal it just yet, just in case things don't work out. But tune in next time for Hannah Fierman.
Yeah.
All right. We've been Gary and Ken. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Take care for now.
Take care.
Live from Manchester Morgue is an independent horror movie podcast, researched, written, produced and hosted by Gary Hames and Ken Talbot. New episodes air every 2 weeks on Spotify, Apple, YouTube and all major podcast providers. You can help us grow by leaving a rating or sharing the show with like-minded friends. If you want to get in touch, you can leave us a comment or email us at killertunes976@gmail.com.